What up? Oh, all right. So, if anybody saw the earlier episode, forgive me. I was not aware of the gifts that were laying around, and wasn't aware that after taking a couple of days off of certain types of medications and having to grow underground, you might get a little cranky. You know what? Shit's fixed. I'm good. Big question is, how the hell are y'all doing? So, all right. We're on shocks. That's an acceptable amount of extra pressure as far as I'm concerned. These are bladderless, so it's a little, yeah, it's a little more, but it's already together. I really don't mess with it because these things are really hard to get just right. So, excuse me. By the way, smoking is unhealthy and kills thousands of Americans every year. I don't recommend it. So, let's get some circlips here. Let's get our front shock shaft set up. 2 pistons. I believe from memory, they're going to be number 3s. Out of the 3 different pistons they give you in the kit, it's 1, 2, and 3. Where are my front shock shafts? No, they should be in the box. Okay. Here. No. Oh boy, that's not a good thing. Here they go. Crap. Okay. Oh, there they are. Right there. Thank God. I was like, oh shit. Not another one. It was like instantly. As soon as I'm in a better mood, right? I lose something. That would suck. All right. So here we go. Hey, Brody boy, what are you doing? Huh? There's my puppy. He's trying to say hi. All right. So we got looks like just shock mounting hardware and shock shafts and some weird spacer thing. All right. Brody, I'm doing a live stream. I can't pet you all day, buddy. Sorry. I'm doing something. You can leave your head there if you want. Good boy. All right. Same problem as before. These damn Eclipse can't pull off of a silicone mat. There we go. All right. So if you're careful, you can pop these on with just the table for the first clip. The one like I usually do the bottom of the piston. Good boy, Brody. So you just it's a pain in the butt, but you can do it. Da, 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 da. So get your little I hate you clip. If you don't have a perinatal nose, which I currently don't because I'm living in a cave, or either in storage or at work. Okay. More fun than a barrel of angry chimpanzees. Question is, how many chimpanzees can you fit in a barrel? Are they youth? Adult? What size is the barrel? Variables you have to take into account. Right, so, oof. El Bastardo. See how much fun I'm having not having the right tools? But the right tools go a long way. Fortunately, my house burned down, so I have good tools at work and I have good tools in storage. And the person who lives here that does the tooling, should I say, repairs and maintenance of the house, does not have a proper collection of anything. Like, I don't know how much of a tool guy you are personally, but like, you know, when you go into a guy's garage and you look around and you go, this guy's not prepared for shit. Yeah, that's kind of the way I saw that when I came here. Started trying to find stuff out in the garage that I didn't have on hand. Yeah, because, I mean, honestly, if you think about it, I mean, if you're a little southern, maybe a little ghetto, whatever you want to call it, and you got a sawzall, a welder, a drill, sandpapers, grinder, you can pretty much make anything. Am I wrong? I mean, it's not going to last forever. It's not going to be perfect, but you can build it. So, you know, all right. Finally, I'm getting a number out of one of these damn things. That's a 2. Damn it. I think a 3's for the front is what the manual said. For the standard setup, which I'll give it a shot. I don't think I'll like it because it calls for lighter damping in the front and the rear, and that's usually not my way I roll when it comes to setups. However, I haven't driven a race car in a very long time on a racetrack, so I don't know how this is going to work. And you know, I've got my bashing trucks. I've got my Armas. You know, I've got my 6S Notorious, 6S Creighton, 6S Typhon that was turned into a Typhon Creighton Mojave Spider, whatever the hell you want to call it. Number 1. All right. Some of these have got to be the right ones. Anyway, so I've got my bashers. This is not a basher truck. This is a truck you can take out and, you know, run it hard and drive it around and do some little jumps with it. But this is a race truck. And other than what I just stated you can do with it, that's all I plan on doing with it is racing if possible. If I can find some place in this freaking backwards ass bizarre around state where they actually race remote control trucks in nitro version, then I will plan on doing so before too long, and I will document all of it for you people to watch me fail or whatever I happen to do. It's been a long time since I actually drove anything in a race. In fact, the last time you could say I did that was probably when I drove the Ferrari. I mean, I did try to set a decent lap time anyway. And that video is on the channel, so feel free to look it up. That was a Valentine's Day present for my lovely wife, Clara. And that was a ton of fun. So you get to go full bore on a racetrack with a Ferrari. All right, so there we go. 1 done. That's how fun these are to assemble. But you know what? Honestly, E-clips, definitely a better way to hold a piston than a washer that could bore out like certain shocks. I always loved associated cars. I've raced them most of my life. Once I got 2 Tamiyas to start out with, I think. And once I really started getting into racing, actual racing, I had an RC10, and then I had a what was it? I had a Kyosho Optima 4-wheel drive. Damn it, 600 bastard, really. And then when I went on road, obviously I had a 10L, I had a 12L. That was crazy. 12 scale when you're running four cell. Those things are nuts. Yeah, I don't even know if they do. Well, I know they do small scale, but those little 12 scale pan cars were nuts. Where in the... Yeah, I'm working on a white table with a little tiny chrome E-clips. Kind of hard. It'd be nice if they're black. But I'm sure most people's bench faces are black. But like I said, due to the house fire and my current living conditions, I don't have a decent workbench. Get your ass on there. Ah, shit. Okay. This is usually where I just start losing my shit, but trying to be normal and not angry. It's not a good thing to be angry all the time. It doesn't help anybody. Help you, it doesn't help people you act out against, it doesn't help anyone. So there's no reason to be angry that is productive. There you go, got it on there. Okay, so now we need our other number 3 piston, which is not going to be one of those. Well, maybe, did I pull those up for that? Yeah, that's 3. Huh? Cool. And of course, they say in the instructions to remove the burr because all these nylon parts are made injection mold. So they're on a parts tree. You know, that means if you've ever assembled a plastic model. So yeah, you got to deburr them. And honestly, okay, most of the parts, fine. No big deal. But injection molded pistons on a parts tree, come on. That's supposed to be a precision instrument, not, just a. How do you expect to have even damping? I mean, if you're having the customer, the final product, file or sand one of them. Half of these ham-fisted monkeys out there can't do that. You guys crazy? Come on. So before installing your shock rods into your pistons or into your cylinders that now have their seals already installed, doesn't hurt to like screw the shaft past the seals so you don't rip against the seals. You just kind of glide by with your little thready threads until you get to the smooth part and then pull it through. It's a little trick that really works. Trust me. I've had shock shaft seals fail day one. Trying to rip the threads through, always screw them through. I mean, because it's just kind of like a balloon, and you're taking like a self-tapping screw, roll it. If you rip it against it, it's gonna mess it up and pop the balloon. If you just go like that, it's just gonna push it in, let it go. Basic physics, man. Basic physics. Come on. All right, so here we go. Now we got our third shock assembled. Let's get some. Well, actually, first let's put on the top seal, and we'll put in some shock oil. 3.5 weight is what comes with this kit. I highly doubt I'll be sticking to that for very long, just due to the non-refinement of the pistons and the fact that I like a fairly well damped car, on road or off road, basher or race car. In fact, I've been known to run up to 140 weight in my basher. Oh no! The E-clip came off. Ain't that about a bitch? Well, but kind of cool thing is now we have kind of this little, if you will, uh, jig to set the E-clip. So if we get a new one, nobody left. Where is the kit? All right, no. So that's a new idea, and that's really cool, and that should be used by anybody who builds one of these afterwards. Um, if you put the bottom E-clip on the piston, and then put the rod in, and then put the piston on top of the shaft and get it set, when it comes up to the top, it kind of holds the piston, holds the whole assembly, so it's easier to put an E-clip on it. Let's not find another E-clip to put on it, because maybe get some here. Oh, well, you look at that. They're even black. Awesome. Very awesome. Okay, come on. All right. Little Chinese tool or Chinese hardware kit comes in and saves the day. So, right. So that's kind of holding the whole assembly, even though the top clip isn't on. And we just go and just kind of keep it at the right level. And, come on. Slipping off the pliers. Not the right pliers to be using for this. You want needle nose, but like I said, I'm not going to drive down my storage unit just to get some pliers. All right, so there we go. So that is now assembled. Killer. So let's fill it the rest of the way up with fluid. Get a little. All right, put it in something to hold it, let all the bubbles come to the top. And we're going to do our next one. And screw our shaft through. Come on. In we go. Wow. It's probably the one I had to substitute one of the seals with because one of them disappeared. So I used one out of that Chinese kit. Like I said, comes in handy. Not a bad idea to have a Chinese hardware kit laying around. For RC cars, I wouldn't put that shit in my real car. Holy crap. Yeah, no. They do strip heads easier, so obviously it's cheaper metal as well. So I sell cheaper. You know, you get what you pay for. So there's nobody watching me. Sometimes I feel like nobody's watching me. And I get my privacy. That's kind of cool. All right. I gotta admit, that camera is pretty HD. I'm just kind of afraid seeing myself in high def. I remember when they first came out with high def newscasters. Holy crap, there's some ugly motherfuckers doing news, weren't there? It looked really good in a fuzzy state. Like I'm sure you can see how many gray hairs I have. Yeah, I only do this part of my beard because it's where that's where the juices flow when I go down on Barney's wife. Hey man, how many people say they got dinosaur poon? Yeah, that's what's up. Sucks coming home with your back all fucked up though. Scratches and shit. But get it where you can, bro. Was that 16 minutes? I gotta write that down. It'd be like funny, 16, 12. All right, so let's get this kind of in. Let's get all the bubbles out of it. Up shaft and then tighten it down. Watch that O-ring at the top because that bad boy will pop out and make your life hell. So make sure it doesn't pop out. There's still air in there. Oh yeah, that fluid looks like what do you call it? It's white, you know. Looks like pure silicone oil. So obviously we got some air in that. So we're gonna let that work itself out. I'm gonna try this one. Like I said, there's cap on there, some kind of seal, shaft about 3/4 way up. Crank her down, make sure that O-ring doesn't pop. That's getting too tight already. All right, bleed off a little more fluid by loosening the cap mid-assembly. That's beautiful. I like it. All right, cool. That one works. Okay, almost ready to go back to the manual now. I've been out for a while. Well, I'm sure you can figure out how to put these shock collars on. And the screw goes in the hole going, and yeah, I get it. Big hole screws through, small hole screws into. Uh, Surprised they have to actually put a warning in the manual about that. It just kind of breaks my heart almost. I mean, come on, man. Mike Judge is a I don't know what they used to call a farseer. Mike Judge told the future when he made the movie Idiocracy, and it's a very sad state that actually happens. I'm not a political person by any means, and I don't talk politics on my channel, and I don't talk politics in general because I believe that they're all bullshit and whatever. It doesn't matter what I believe. It matters what you believe. I'm not going to argue about it. Anyway, everything that's happened in real life that was in the movie Idiocracy way back in '94, I think it was, or something like that. Don't quote me on that. Probably inaccurate, but has come true almost. So, future looks bright, doesn't it? Especially with this cell phone generation. Try being a mid 40s auto technician and trying to teach a kid in his teens, late teens, early 20s, how to properly do a brake job is one of the most aggravating things you will ever do in your life. I guarantee you that. And it's not just that kid. It's been several. So anyway, back to work. Back to the manual. Let's see where we're at here. We got our shocks assembled. I mean, just the shafts, pistons, bled, all that stuff. Okay, so now we're going to install our springs and our collars. So we need, the fronts need a 10 millimeter gap, and the rear need a 5 millimeter gap, and in the rear the dog bones need to be level. Okay, well, not really gonna know that until you put it down. Okay, so we need plastic spacer and a little pushing guide at the bottom of that. Got it. Okay. All right, so right, steps and steps. Let's look at this guy here. This still has bubbles in it, believe it or not. Okay, so we're gonna go back with that, and let's get our collars all set up. And then springs, birches, etc. So let's put our little bottom ball thingies. Get in there. Wow. Let's be rear, yes. Yeah, definitely rear. The rears are going to have, I imagine, are they going through or no? They're mounted on the outside. The fronts are going through. So the rears probably have, that's probably a front ball right there, front ball right there. The rears probably have an extended ball that's got a flange on it. Since they're mounting on the outside, like that, right there. Cool. All right, so pop those in. If there's shock pliers, if you don't have shock pliers and you're working on RC cars, you're not doing much work on RC cars. If you work on RC cars a lot, you need to have them. If you're going to do anything right anyway. So there's a lot of ways you can screw stuff up. Working on RC cars is not difficult, but it is easy to screw up. Oh, damn it. A little bit too far. See what I mean? There we go. All right. So there's the backs. One front ready to go, so we'll color that up. And she can with the bottom. And get them put down with the front balls. The ones with the big flange on the outside, those are the rears. The balls with the flange on the bottom, the fronts, they're kind of flat on both sides. Same where you see in the rears, they have a big flange on one side. So it's just kind of normal. So don't screw that up because the rears won't go into the fronts for sure. All right, is this shock done? No, it's not. Jesus. So that just goes to show, like, if you have a little bit of air in one of your shocks and you go out and take it out for a rip, and if you don't know, just Google or YouTube suspension video live, like to look at a suspension component with a car driving down the road. They go up and down like thousands of times a minute. So if you've got any air in that system, you're going to have cavitation immediately. It's going to aerate the system. Now, there are shock pistons designed. That's called the emulsion shock. That's cool. This car doesn't happen to come with that. So with this is what I'm dealing with. If you have a bladder shock or, with the big old dome in the top or something like this that doesn't even have a bladder, you've got to be very careful with bubbles and extra room left in the thing, because I just filled that up and had a little bit too much air in it. And sure enough, after like 10 strokes, it's so aerated. It's like, liquid Swiss cheese. So now I got to wait for that to finish itself up while I move on, because I'm not waiting for that. So, right, pistons, bottoms, collars, etc. So now we are installing the front shocks. Okay. So need some 445/8 and lock nut, washer, bushing. Got it. How big is 5/8? I don't know, because I work on cars that are designed for off-road. I'm just kidding. Americans design cars just fine. Chrysler does not. I don't know who or what entity is. Fiat owns them, I know, but whatever's going on with Chrysler, you are doing an absolutely freaking terrible job. That 3.6 abomination, and God knows what you've got coming down the pipeline. I mean, you guys are idiots. Figure your shit out, please. God, German cars are becoming attractive to work on thanks to you guys. Let's put it that way. Chrysler, get your shit together. All right. Chassis, shocks. Yep. All right. It's so tiny. I can't get over how small this thing is. Because I've been, running 8-scale pastures for like 5 years. All right. So front shocks, we only got one. So let's get that on there. So we need collar, this shock, then we need a washer, then we need our 440 nut, lock nut, nylock, whatever you want to call it. It's got the nylon in it. So, of course, the kit does not come with a little baby 4-way, so you get it, or if you have drivers, and this is not metric, this is American size, so be ready for that. Yeah. I literally, I don't have a socket set over here. Well, I kind of do, I guess, if I take this thing. Another weird thing, my wife got to work in the bargain bin. She sells parts, so yeah, I know. Yeah, she sells parts, and I work on cars for a living. It's kind of a funny thing. No, it's not how we met. Okay, so there's no adapter to make this into a quarter drive from. Right. Okay. So fun. All right. Screw that on with my massive automotive hand strength. Oh, that's why I didn't tighten up these things. All right. So once again, I'll just screw that on with my. Nope, can't go that hard. I'm good. I ain't that good. So I need a quarter drive ratchet, which I know I don't have here. Or it could be a Mongoloid and do this. Look like a complete. Oh, you know what? Even better. Not thin enough to get in there. That would be cool. You just use that like a ratchet. Just. Yeah, maybe. No, not enough room to move. Shit. All right. Damn it, dude. Bastards. Okay, so I'll find something for that. In the meantime, keep moving on. Shock is supposed to be in the looks like the outer position. So it's going to be there. Bolt going here from the back. And check and see. Where's it going from the front? Neither of them are loose, so I mean, you go either way, I guess. I think I'm just going to go through the front because it's just easier access. Going through the back requires, pleading, begging, sometimes, alcohol. Just kidding. I don't believe in giving people alcohol to get them to do things they don't want to do. That's not cool. Some people just get freaky when they're drunk. All I'm saying is don't ever ask for it. If it's offered up, take the offer. Just don't ask for it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Not worth it in the long run, not worth it in the short run, not worth it at all. Because it's worse than losing the V card for a lot of girls that were coerced into set activities. If you're still following me, by the way, I like the way you think. Obviously, you're an intelligent human being. Apparently, somebody is. All right, so enough about butt sex. Anyway, so front shock. Let's see if the other one is finally bled out. It's not like white anymore, so hopefully this time will work. All right, so it's a little overfill, whatever. It's all going to drain and push it up anyway. So about a little less. Yeah, oh, there we go. Yep. So make sure you don't pinch that O-ring. Squirt it out. Wipe down. All right, so O-ring is not pushing out anywhere, and It's hydro locking a little early. You don't want to hydro lock that early. That's a bit much. You can hydro lock, but you don't want to do it before like the last tenth of the stroke, really. Because it's just, it's gonna make handling weird. It's like having an upstop that's misadjusted. All right, so oh, O-ring start to squirt. Gotta watch that top O-ring. Make sure it don't pop out anymore. All right, I think we're good. There we go. Yeah, just right at the bottom gives you a little resistance. That's fine. Oh, it actually bled it though. Cool. All right. Nope, nope, nope. See, that's what I mean. You can't push that O-ring. So it's popped out. Right there. Yep. Can't push that O-ring. So you're gonna let it go, get it back in location, and tighten down. All right. So don't over tighten those. All right. Thank God there's no air in there because I swore there was going to be. All right. So let's get this thing collared, springed, and ready to rock. And then we can finish up the front end part of that and move on to shock build bag E step 7. As Associated would have it put so gingerly. So let's get in here. All right, there's that. There's the front spring, front collar. And that's going to lead us to our spacer, washer, and nut. Okay, fine. I will check my text now because everybody and their mother says, son of a bitch. Okay, what else? I need a fucking washer. Yeah. What? Fucking air furnace? Yeah, just bullshit. There we go. More bullshit. All right, so get your spacer or your shim bushing in the back of the shock. Get your washer on there, and then get your nut on that. And go. And that, hopefully, you'll be able to tighten down with just a little socket, like I did on the other one. But the ones on the front steering, definitely I can't get. That one's a little tighter than the other one was. All right, this still needs a bottom ball, so that little guy. Put that through with shock pliers. Oh, come here, you little bastard. So, shock pliers all in, and dip, dip, dip. Pop, done. And in you go. So on the outside, like the other one. And here we go. Right one from the front instead. That's just straight in, right? There's no, there's no pins or spacers or anything. Just straight through without showing any instructions. Right, and I do believe I still need to space these shock collars. 10mm in the front, 5 in the rear, or whatever whatever that is in fractions or something. I don't know. I'll have to figure out something. I don't have a dial caliper here that I know of. I don't even know of a tape measure here, honestly. It's kind of a shitty situation. Oh, you know what? Shit, look at that. I'll bet I got my balls all mixed up. Yep. I'll bet these balls were actually for the front, Well, no, it's showing the. You know, it actually doesn't tell you which one's front, which one's rear. It just kind of rolls through it. But I'm guessing that's the problem. I have so much slop up there because that shouldn't be normal. There's no way I should have that much slop in the front. So let's go on. All right, go ahead and swap these balls out, as she said. Of course, she was talking about the ones in her mouth. Decided to go for a walk. Can't hang on in a weight room any longer. Good for you, bro. You got any utensils on you? God knows I love the fact that Clara left her cart here. Speaking of which. Like, seriously, I was about to kill everybody like an hour ago. Like, I was just really, really, really angry. And, well, what I decided to do for my anger management, instead of go to classes and all that kind of bullshit, is start consuming uh, marijuana derivatives. And it's worked great so far until you run out. And you don't know why you're angry, you just know you are. It's not like a, what do you call that, regular dosage or anything. I'm still trying to figure that out. So that's my issue. But anyway, just thought I'd say, instead of going to anger management, I started consuming marijuana products. And I definitely recommend that over anger management because if you're in my condition where you have a lot of inflammation, muscle spasms, uh, busted joints, that kind of stuff, it also helps with inflammation, muscle spasms, and stuff like that. So there you go. It's kind of a, you know, kill two birds with one rocket launcher. I don't know, however you want to see it. I mean, because I've done nothing but over the counters for the past 4 years. So, yeah, can't deal with that whole pain thing anymore. Getting old. Be 47 on Monday. So, yeah. Anyway, now that this is obviously a better setup because the shock's not rocking back and forth. So let's get that done. Get our collars in the right place. Get our rear shocks installed, and then go from there. See where we're at that junction. I'm still gonna research. Anybody out there know what 10 millimeters is in fractions? I could definitely stack some bolts since they have that little thing in the front of the manual. It gives you your sizes and actual size. I guess I could guess on 2.5 wrenches. I'm pretty sure I got 2.5 mil wrenches. I don't have a 10 millimeters. Yeah, 10 millimeter socket. I hate 10 millimeter sockets all over the place. Just not here. All right, but yeah, I can guess 10 mil. Just line it up in spaces. So on the outside of this is probably 10 mil, 10 or something. Come on, get in there. No, I wish I had some American frickin' size drivers. I'll just put this here, stick that in there, tighten that up, and it makes it nice and even. Get it tight. All right, put that down. Socket in there. Now the socket is not 10 millimeter, outside or inside, so measure your own. As far as I'm concerned, that's probably about 12 or 13 to be honest with you, but you know what? A little extra ride height's not a bad thing on break-in. Alright, so we got our rear balls to put in our rear shocks. And we can mount those. And then where do we go from that? Now we're starting to make tie rods. Look at that. We're going to have fully functional suspension soon. Howdy doody about that shit. To the one person who might be watching. Yeah. Alright. Well, anyway. So, damn it. Went all the way through. Alright, let's try that again from the other side. Come on. strap-ons. Done. Okay. So rear shocks. We need the upper spacers. So that's going to be those guys. Yeah. Little collared dudes for the top, obviously. And then you're going to need 2 washers, 2 440 nuts. So have those at the ready to drop on, and then I will check what we're going to use to fasten the bottom, because I think there's a thing to that. There's like some cams or something, standoff mounts, whatever you want to call them, I guess. Yeah, there is. So it's right there. All right, so we need 2 440 by 5/8 screws, and these 2 3 1 5 5 by 2 washers, which is going to be those nifty little blue aluminum ones if you're using this kit. I was wondering where those were or what those were for. So you're going to put the cam high end to the outside. That's going to be these guys. So I mean high end to the outside. So on this left rear or right rear suspension, it'll be this way, and then on the left rear it's going to be that way. So there's that. Oh, sorry. Flat out. Okay. And then you're going to use those 4 little brightly colored aluminum washers that are little blue guys. And then you'll need 4 440 by 5/8 is what I said. Yes. Okay. 440 by 5/8. Get out the little bolt directory here in the front of the manual just to make absolutely sure I'm not using the wrong stuff, because I hate taking bolts back out. 5/8. That's pretty long. So yeah, that's just half. So it should be, hey, there they are. There they are, all 4 of them. Excellent. Okay, so we got those, we got that, we got that. So that's going to take a while to install. So speak amongst yourselves or whatever. But yeah, so this was a little birthday present to myself due to the fact that I hinted on it since January. Nobody really picked it up. However, I've had a child leave the house in the last 6 months, and then our house burnt down. So my wife is not exactly thinking about my birthday. In fact, I didn't remember her, so I don't blame her. Anyway, so but after I saw the re-release of this, it kind of sparked something in me. Even though I took 8 years off of RC driving and racing, whatever, and came back, and there was all of a sudden lipo and brushless. So I didn't know if I would ever get a gas again, but then when I saw this available, I was like, oh boy. I used to have a picture of me standing on top of the tabletop jump at the local BMX track, which is about I'd say an 8-foot table, and the car is like literally 5 feet in front of my face, fully inverted, exhaust streaming out, sun in the background, like a beautiful halo around everything. Like it was a really fantastic picture. Maybe I'll recreate it. Who knows? Of course, they don't have a tabletop anymore now. It's more of a it's a quad actually now. But we're not allowed on the BMX track because the county board doesn't approve of it. However, I choose not to start a petition and be a dick and force my way in there. I'll simply ask nicely in a year or 2. Besides, we have access to the local motocross track, one of them, not the hoity-toity one that advertises, but the nice, down-home, family-owned motocross track that happens to be a little bit of a farther drive, but it's still way better, especially for us RC guys, because they have several tracks, and when there's nobody at one track, we can go out there and enjoy it by ourselves, not have to worry about dirt bikes driving over our cars. Where I imagine getting free time in an actual dirt bike track is going to be tough because no, there's dirt bikes out there. Yeah. Of course, we only go during the week, so it makes it a little tough to get people together, but it's a ton of fun. I highly recommend it. Find your local dirt bike track. or even, you know, some backwoods place in the woods where people ride dirt bikes, where they built jumps or whatever, or made natural jumps. Trust me, dirt bike jumps and, well, small motocross jumps and large BMX jumps, perfectly designed for remote control car bashing, and so are skate parks. So there you go. So yeah, my parents bought me one of these in 1994, and I believe for a birthday present, which is kind of ironic, or not ironic, really, it's funny. And then I sold it in 2002. Or wait, no, no, they bought me one in, what is it, about 83? Yeah, okay, yeah. And then I sold it in, let's see, yeah, I graduated in 2006, so I sold it in 2002, and hadn't had a nitro since then, except for the race cars that I used to race, Serpents, Impulse, and Impact, both on road cars. So, and when I got out of it because of sponsorship crap and driving RC wasn't fun anymore, I got into bashing. That had been kind of, well, I mean, people have been doing it for years, obviously, but it had become kind of a thing since I got out of it. I got a couple bashers, and I'm loving that. But I've still got the racing bug, and I've still got the nitro bug. So, nitro racing truck. Right up my alley, right? And I used to have one. I don't remember being this small, I gotta admit. I mean, this thing is tiny compared to what I'm used to driving. I mean, all right, so here's my wife's Notorious, which I have just like it. Well, not just like it, but. So that's the Notorious, and that's the RC10. Like, it's like, wow. I mean, here's the tires. Like, yeah, that's insane. So obviously, I forgot what scale was in like 9 years of my life or something. But well, you know how it is. You know, women can't measure anything because for their whole lives, guys have been telling them that this is 6 inches. I don't know. Maybe I grew older and my perception of size went somewhere awry, but I'm just saying. All right, so right, and the rear shocks are going to mount out with a 440 half, which is going to be this guy with no washers or nothing. I would recommend in the future stick a washer on this because with that 440 hex head or socket head on there and nothing else, it will, you can pull that joint, that ball directly over the whole thing, or the shock end over the whole thing. They say going inboard or outboard. I can't quite tell, but it looks like outboard. So yeah, put a washer over that when you build yours, if you do build one. Or if you have any other car that has joints like that, if you just have that ball and that socket head screw, it'll pull that plastic end right over it. So definitely employ something to hold it there, like a washer. That's one of the oldest tricks in the book when it comes to RC car stuff, and I've been doing this a long, long time. Started racing when I was 9 years old. You know, these would be better lined up if they're grounded actually from the inside, which they're actually supposed to be. I'm just an idiot and didn't look hard enough at the instructions. So, all right. Come here. Yeah. All right, bastard. Okay, things are getting slippery. No, there's not that much shock oil leaking, but I'm just having a hard time with these weird angles. Okay, there we go. And we'll start. Yep. There we go. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any drivers for American screws. And trust me, these are not your metric screws. Don't think your 2.5, your 2, your 3, your 3.5 is going to fit this. If you have a another RC car that happens to be not built by Americans, because this is 100% American built, American designed, American tested. I've met a lot of the people who actually worked on the build of this car. Well, actually, I met one of them. 1 out of 3 ain't bad, right? So, and I also met one of the dudes who took one of these to champion, Joel Johnson. Pretty cool dude. I met Mark Pavitas as well once. It's kind of weird. I don't know. He's kind of like a Chevy Chase character when I was like 8. I'm sure he's probably not around anymore. Godspeed, my friend. Okay, so there's that. Now what are we doing? Oh, now we're finally putting links together. Holy crap, that only took forever. Bag F, step 1. Oh, sit back here for a second. Right, okay. Whatever. Sippy. It's not alcohol. I quit day drinking when I got my last job, and now I do not put alcohol in my sippy cup. A sippy cup is only for rehydration liquid. That way. Oh, where are our ends? All right. Oh, what the hell? Where's it? Okay. Bag F. Weird looking. All right. Usually bigger than that. Oh yeah, and if you get one of these kits, be ready to have a razor blade or a knife handy because you do a lot of cutting. All right, so here's our old turnbuckles and our little itty bitty turning weirdos. Yeah, this is like one of the first upgrades you would do to one of these is to get ball ends for everything, not these clip-on little plastic doodads because they will pop the hell off. I mean, yeah, they're super lightweight, but so are titanium turnbuckles. All right, so the smallest link in the kit is going to be your bell crank kit or bell crank link. So grab that bad boy. There. Wait, that might be it. What the hell? No, that's it because that's too big. Okay, so and then put 2 of your ends on there, and they got to be set up with a 13.5 mil gap in the middle. What? No. No, that's well, that'll help you pass the time, right, buddy? I'm on live right now. My buddy is walking down the highway in California due to the fact that his TPMS light came on and he got out of the truck and he had a nail in the tire and the tire was flat. It was on his way to a family picnic, so he sent the wife and the kids ahead in the mothership, as he calls it. I guess they're bigger of 2 vehicles. And, you know, he's waiting for whoever to come and help him out. That's a good dude right there. You gotta take care of the family first, right? Yeah. Sacrifices have to be made to take care of things occasionally. But that's what makes people good people, is the willingness to do so. The willingness to be selfless. It's not easy. I'll give you that. You know, a lot of times I made decisions that I regret now. I mean, not big time. You know, like nobody died or anything. But, you know, I didn't lose any friends, but there are situations I could have been a better person in. And that's what being old is all about. It's reflecting on how much you fuck your life up. In my case, I got a lot of fucking thinking to do. Yeah, I'll be 47 on Monday. All right. Shit. Yeah. Too short. I can take this side off a little bit. Good use for shock wires, right? All right, let's try that. There we go. All right, right, so we get that guy between these two. Little bell cranks. And they just pop right on. Yep, just like so. Which is the problem because they just pop right off. So that's why that's one of the first things you want to upgrade. Me, I don't know. I might just run this stock. I mean, unless it becomes a problem, like if I race it and they start popping off, then yeah, I'll definitely upgrade it. But until it becomes a problem, I'm just leave it alone. Just for the fact that it's stock, and I think it's kind of cool. And I'm also getting that stock motor. I don't know if anybody saw that, but anybody who has one of these, there's a motor out available from Associated. I don't know who's building it. I've heard rumors that it's OS, but I don't have a trusted source that tells me that it is. But it is exactly the perfect fit for the clutch, exhaust, and linkage and everything else that comes with this truck kit. If you get the new release RC10GT, there is a motor out available from Associated for $1.25, $125. Yes, cheap as shit, right? I mean, even if it's a half-ass motor, you got to replace once a year. That's cheap because you know what happens when you buy $300 motor. If you treat it right, it'll last 3 years. Of course, if you're racing, you have to buy one every year because horsepower is down. Life sucks. Anyway, that's why I don't do that anymore. Okay, one of the reasons. Okay, so next we're supposed to mount the rear shocks next. Oops. No, actually was the right step. Okay, hold on. Flip the page. Okay, turnbuckle city. Here we go. We got boom, turnbuckles. All right, so we gotta do 2 at 195 or 1.95 inches, 49 millimeter, 49.5 mil. We got 54.5 mil. We got 50.5 mil. Okay, so first one is steering link. First one's camber link in the front. Second one's steering link. Third one is rear camber link, which has a ball fitting on the end of it, so it's not their normal ball. It's a ball and a ball socket. So some podcasts going on in the background from HP Academy. If you're in the automotive business as any kind of hands-on person with cars, especially anything performance-oriented, I highly recommend looking up HP Academy on YouTube. No matter how long you've been doing this, no matter how good you are, trust me, you still learn something. And I have, so I highly recommend it. Because I've been building engines for 20 or 30 years, but I've been working on cars for 29, and I've been building engines for at least 10 of that. And I've built 43 and only had 2 failures. So, not a terrible record. Most of them 4 cylinders and 6s. Nobody ever brought me a V8 or a rotary. That's why I haven't built one. Otherwise, I would. Okay, so it looks like our turnbuckles are pretty even as far as the length goes before you put the shit on them. So we're just going to start putting shit on them. What I mean is you don't have to have the right ones for the job. You just have to have them all at the right length when you're done. Because they're all the same length. So, monkey. All right. So I think I'm going to keep up with this whole process because this seems to be working fairly efficiently. There we go. Nice and soft. And we'll just go a little. All right, so just start them by hand, get them on a couple threads, and let's see where we're at. Yeah, might have to tighten it up just a little bit. Yeah, that should do it. So, yeah. Next time I put one on, I'll figure out which way. I know this one went on counter. I'm not sure if the other one went on clockwise, but I think it did. So just remember that when you're assembling these, one end goes on counter, one end goes on clockwise. That's why you can adjust them when they're still hooked up. So we need front camber turnbuckle. That is way too long, and that is way too long for anything, pretty much. So, all right, let's tighten this up a little bit. And see where we're at. We got more thread on this side. Try to make your threads even side to side when you're putting it together, because if you don't, when you get into a situation where you need a heavy adjustment, if you only have like 2 threads left on one end and have 7 left on the other end, well, you know what's going to happen. So, like I said, try to keep your amount of thread that's inside the ball even on both sides. Keep remember they are reversed from each other. One goes one way, one goes the other. All right, that should hope for one of these at least. Close. All right, no, and yes. Okay, so that is a steering turnbuckle right there. So I'm going to make another one of those. And now I know when I do the front camber, it's got to be way tighter than that. But in the meantime, because this virgin nylon is see-through, you can actually see how many threads are in it. So you can match it up like that really quickly. And that way you don't have to be doing this all day, because this is not like terribly fun work. It's not bad, it's just tedious, and I can't stand anything that's the same shit over and over again. I actually had a job on a assembly line at a place that made little cages to go around the pool so your idiot kid doesn't throw himself in it and die. Excuse me for being blunt about that. If there's anybody out there who's lost a child to a pool drowning, I'm terribly sorry for your loss. It falls on both sides anyway. So anyway, I was screwing screws into a pole and then pulling the thing down and putting screws into a pole. And at about 11 o'clock, I went to the manager and I said, I can't do this. There's no way in hell. I could train a monkey to do this in 6 months, but I can't do this. It's so goddamn boring. And the people around me are just not entertaining. So, yeah. And they're like, can you finish out the day? I'm like, no, I can't. You got me till lunch. And yeah, so that's one of the reasons I love my job. I'm an automotive technician. I've been one for 29 years. And you can have the same exact car come in with the same exact complaint, same year, make, model, engine, the whole 9 yards, and it be a different reason that it's producing the same condition. And that makes it fun because you really have to be like a detective in a sense. So that looks pretty damn close to a pair of steering links. So now let's make our camber links for the front. And then when we're done, we'll put them all on at the same time. And then all of a sudden, we'll have active suspension. Oh, shit, there's somebody there. Hey, what's up, buddy? Happy birthday. Not today, but Monday. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, yeah, I'll be 47. Shit, getting old, bro. Shit. So, I don't know where you last left off. We have working shocks now. The rear axles are installed, transmission, motor mounts. And I found out last night, check this out. You can get a motor for this bad boy for $1.25, all ready to go. Designed specifically for this truck. And the kit comes with a header, a pipe, manifold, gasket, fuel line, fuel tank. All you need is a motor. And that motor is the perfect thing for this setup. Cool, huh? Right, so we're assembling the turnbuckles now for rear camber, front steering, and front steering ones are done. There's going to be the front camber ones, which are quite a bit tighter. The actual links are all the same. It's just how far you go down on the ball. So that's where we're getting down into that. Obviously, thread direction is clockwise on one side, counter on the other, which makes it hard to put on at times. I don't think that things are pre-threaded, so it's just a matter of forcing it on there. Ugh, come on, you really? Right. Maybe they're threaded. I don't know. Get on there. No, I'm gonna say they're not threaded. All right, yeah, that's pretty much gonna solve the riddle there. Okay. When in doubt, put a bigger tool on it. Ow, bastard. You are really pushing your luck here, dude. Like I said, the first thing you want to replace on these is this, which I might do already. Dude, get on the damn thing already. Shit. All right, finally. Okay, that one sucks. So how's your day going, bro? Or you bail out already? No, you're still there. Okay, cool. What are you up to? Any RC car stuff going on, or just doing the usual? I know I got to do some laundry. The wife's at work, so kind of try to help out when I'm home. Empty the garbage out. I don't know if you've heard yet, but our house burned down like 3 months ago, so we're living in a room in the back of my mom's garage. We're looking for a place right now. We also have a tag along, kind of my old roommate Nick. He's on the channel. You've seen him probably. He's kind of he's Nick. So he's kind of with us. We can't really just drop him off at the fire station. He's a little too old for that. But I mean, the guy's one of the best friends you could ever have, dude. He'd give you the shirt off his back in a snowstorm. So I mean, it's not like he's not a valued part of this team, but we have our moments. If you watch enough of our videos, you'll see we have our moments. There we go. Anyway, no comments from the peanut gallery. Over, man. Come on. Just get down. Finally. Okay, down you go. All right. So we're at. All right. So for steering rods, 2 on and 2 on. Told you they were tiny. Anyway, all right. So get these down where they need to be. Real quick. I don't know if you saw, but when I compared the tire sizes between the bashers we have and this thing, I realized how small a 10 scale race truck was. So long since I had one. No, you were here already. That's right. All right, that should do it. It's matched up pretty good. Damn. Okay, a little bit more, it says. Let's go down to no visible external thread. No, what was that for? That's pretty far. Only one visible external thread. I'm gonna puncture these things. If you run these things all the way down and they run the ball into the socket, it's not good. Kind of like your what would that be? If your tibia decided to extend into your knee, it'd be bad, very bad. All right, so that should do it right there. That is right on spot for what they're asking for. And we're not punctured or anything, so, but probably got to be flat. Yeah, let's say so. So the balls need to line up the same direction, because that's the direction the balls and the sockets are facing. Is that? Yep. Got it. So down to right. So anybody catch the last F1 race? Think Lando's finally lost his shit? I do. I think he's always on edge. He finally freaking screwed himself up bad enough to lose it. After that crash, it's going to be a hard comeback from that, man. All right, so we got all those, and they're all for the front end. So let's just make the front end look pretty for me, because I'm tired of having this front end sagging around looking all shitty on me. So, right, front camber is the short one. So this is going to be the steering turnbuckle. So, oh, what the hell? The other one popped off? Shit. So there's that. And then there's a little clock wrong, I guess. Shit. Yeah, that popped it off. Okay, I get it. So yeah, so we're gonna even that out. So why did this one come off? Get on there. Son of a bitch. Sorry, I don't have a second camera right now. I'm working on it. Lost all that shit in the house where I was. Okay, so the center link came off of the, what do you call it? The steering there. Okay, so there's that one. And then there's that one. And then that one. And then this should be the short link, right? Or is that? Yep, it is. So that's going to be camber link. So 101 is steering. So that's that. And then even that one out. Oh, you bastard. Back the hell off if you twist them sideways. You definitely want to have these things leveled out so there's no stress on them, because you twist them just the tiniest bit and they just pop right the fuck off. So there's that, and then oh, come on. Yeah. That. And that. And then that. There's a camber link. And that's your front end. And finally, we have steering. We have suspension. That works properly. And there we go. And of course, the nuts aren't tight on the bell cranks because I don't have a nut thing that size. Hopefully my wife will bring one home. All right, so we don't have our outer links on here yet, but outer links are ball through. So we're going to be looking at one bolt going through with a nut and the bell crank on the other side. The bell crank, or not the bell crank, but the ball joint, I should say, sorry. All right, so I'm going to set these up real quick. Now we got a little experience in this. Probably been 30 years since I've done this. Well, I mean, back in 1994, 94, 2004, 24, yeah, over 20 years. So, yes, I am old, but I know shit. And that's why they don't eat me. Are you kidding me with this? Dude. You're a bastard. Okay. Honestly, if you don't work on cars for a living, it's going to really hurt your hands to try to screw these on manually, which I found is the only real way to start them. So I don't know. I don't know how else you want to do it, but that's what I've been doing. So there we go. 40 by 5/8. I am not seeing that one out. I must be still in a bin or something. Or one of the bags for the side. And that is fucking perfect. Do we have no, where is it? Nuts and washers here. No, 440 by 10. So where the hell those are supposed to be, but they're not here. Alright. That's what's supposed to screw the outer joint in. So either I mixed up some screws somewhere or a lot of cap screws on this thing, so it's kind of hard to do that. It might be the ones on the top of the brace, though. It's a possibility. Oh, it's my wife. Alright. It's an emergency. I need to get this damn shaft done. Actually, not bad turn. Alright, come on. Yeah, that's quite a bit off. Just have to see what the camera looks like when it's on the car. That should be right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. Okay. And then go. That should be right from the back. Yep, I'm guessing. And it shows it from the same side the shock is, yes, from the back. Right, so that is definitely probably not the right screw because that's not even going to penetrate that. So, shit. Screw out of something, I guess. I think I just might mock it up for now. Change it later. All right, my wife wants me to bring her cigarettes and go to her favorite store for coffee for her because she can't leave work. Right. Okay. Well, do you want the garbage taken out today, and do you want the laundry done and put away and all that shit too? Because you got your choice. Because I'm enjoying my time. I mean, I'm here to help out by all means, but I'm not here to help out more just because your work is giving you a pain. And it's personal items that you should have taken care of before you went to work. Yeah. So, you know what? I'll tell her if she does the laundry and the trash, I'll do it. And you know what? I can't even afford to get a coffee where she wants one, so not after this. I mean, I'm not saying it's expensive. I mean, by today's money versus 90s money, it's pretty same. But yeah, well, you're getting old and you're still living, and it's your birthday. It's kind of a cool thing. I don't expect anybody else to give a shit, obviously, but I mean, all right, whatever. All right, so there's all that. But we still got one turnbuckle left. Where'd it go? There it is. One turnbuckle left, and nowhere to put it. Maybe it's for if you change the steering to a different setup. I don't know. All right, so that's done. I already installed the tires and wheels last night. Okay, so now I want you to put servos and shit on. Oh, that's what the other turnbuckle is for. That's the one that goes to the bell crane or the servo itself. Right. So essentially, we've got steering, we've got all that, we've got a rolling truck. So let's just put the fucking wheels on it and have a rolling truck, right? Why not? So 2 bearings and a nut in the front. That's it. And just a nut in the back. Blue. Oh, tire adhesive. Yeah, I'm not gluing 3-piece wheels, idiots. Stupid. All right. This big old fucking nut here. There's that. There. Yeah, I guess so. Where's the? Yeah, that'll fit. Actually, it does. You know, 1 metric thing on the whole damn car. God, this thing is lightweight, super lightweight. And oh, okay. That was a metric nut. That's why it fit. That's fucking hilarious. All right, so yeah, that was the wrong nut. You can tell this one's much shinier. It's obviously brand new. Well, you know what? That means we're just gonna have to stick them all like this for now because I don't have tools that fit this shit, and it doesn't come with them. No, it doesn't come with any nut drivers. It comes with freaking basic Allen wrenches and the shock seal installer. Excuse me, and that's it. So if you don't have any American-sized tools laying around and you pick up an RC10GT re-release, do not skip out on buying American-sized tools, including ball drivers, nut drivers, Allen drivers. Damn, it is so free moving. That's crazy. All right, and we got baby nuts for the front somewhere around here. Where the hell did they go? There's one of them. So freaking tiny. I mean, really, this is like just itty bitty. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not gonna work. All right, here's an old mechanic's truck, right? So the nut is trying to drop into the back of the socket so that it won't actually make contact with the threads. So what we do is we find some paper of some sort of plastic or whatever you want to grab. Paper is usually the best. So a piece of a napkin here, stick it in the socket, right? Apparently I don't need quite that much, but anyway, stick it in there, pound it in, compress it, then get your nut. Your nut won't sink so far into the socket, and you can get your nut on your threads. So there you go. Here's your tech tip of the day. Boom! Now getting the nut on is all on you. So having damn quarter drive tools here is shit. All right. Where's the other one? There we go. God, this is so flimsy. Race cars are so freaking flimsy. I mean, compared to bashers, you know, but I mean, it makes sense. Just haven't had a race car in so freaking long, except for that Serpent I just rebuilt, but that wasn't mine. And those things are a different beast anyway. I know that car inside and out like all day. Look at that. It's chassis, man. That's cool. I guess I should probably set the rear shocks up, considering how far it's hanging on that one side, right? Because that is not where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be axles level on the rear. So let's see. They said 5 mil, but I don't know if that's going to be right. Guess we could try 5 mil. Oh, I tightened that one already? Stupid. Yeah, it's. Oh, shit. No, don't want to. Yeah, there we go. Come on. Something like that. Oh. Okay, so. Nope, too high. Axles level. That's just a tiny little bit there. That might not even need to be adjusted much. Alright, come on. Okay, that's even less than that side, but alright, well, we know weight in it. That's pretty close to axles level. So, I mean, because we're talking a motor, fuel tank that's full, receiver, 2 servos, and a flying partridge and periphery. You know, we got a little brake here going on. So that's tight. All right, just gotta get a nut driver or a quarter driver to fix these things. So, 2-wheel drive, little racing bug. Dude, this is gonna be sick. This thing is really gonna rip. You know, I'm starting to remember so much about having to build these and handling wise and all this stuff I used to do to them, like all the little tricks. I'll tell you, one of my first tricks is gonna be is get rid of these shocks. The shocks we got to go. You got to get some big bore Teflons on there, and then we got to get some turnbuckles that are actually solid. So if somebody whacks you, it doesn't pop one of those little ball links off. And you just get just keep these same rods or go titanium, either way, and just get Dubro end links, and then put washers on the outside of them. Get the conical spacer on the inside, the washer on the outside. That will freaking be the most solid, most honest joint. You know, it'll move freely all the time. They're great. Anyway, rear axles, as soon as they start messing up, are going to be replaced with MIP CVDs if they still make them. I don't know if they do or not. Got a ball differential in here. I wonder how that's going to work out. I mean, I think that, well, I know the other ones were ball differential, but like, how good were they? Like, would they, you know, I'm thinking I probably locked the damn thing up. So the slipper clutch works. Look at that. Looks actually way too good right now. It better not be a differential. No, the shaft's not spinning. It's just, yeah, okay. That's probably why the slipper's there, to save the differential. And of course, for traction purposes, but, you know, it's kind of cheating. Learn how to drive. But that's cool. Probably needs to be lower in the front. I'm sure that's more than 10 mil. Let's try that. Whatever that is. More than that. Oh, perfect. All right. Come on. There we go. So let's sit right against that. So I just like put that between the collar and the lip, you know, just to get the right, same on both sides. That's better. See, now she's like even right height. Oh, you guys can't quite see. There we go. Oh, how about that? That's it. That's it. Yep. So, it's a little back down, but I mean, like I said, there's no gear in it yet. You know, I'm not gonna set it up till I got a full tank of gas in it. But that's the chassis, and that's the body, which I'm gonna do something stupid with. I hope. We'll see. Can't really afford paint right now after everything I've done, but I got a really cool idea for it, and if it works out. So yeah, until I get a motor, I don't think I'm going to be doing any more of this, because I mean, all that's left is, well, there's a fuel tank. I mean, that's, and then the exhaust pipe and motor mounts, clutch stuff. I mean, you can't really do half of that until you have a motor in a car. So, of course, stickers and the rear wing and the servo stuff. So that's it. I mean, that's the car. You know, that's all you really need. So later on, guys, have a good night. I'll see you soon in shorts, probably. Hopefully we'll get out for a bash soon. Later.